Did you know that type 2 diabetes is a huge issue in the US and UK? Picture this. More than 34 million people in the US have diabetes, which is almost like half of England's population. It's a big deal, showing that diabetes is a major concern. This condition brings along various health problems, like issues with the heart, eyes, kidneys, and more. And guess what? Taking care of these problems costs a lot of money. But there's something new researchers are looking into. Can a different way of eating help with diabetes instead of relying heavily on medicines? Let's break down why they're doing this and what the study found out. Diabetes, particularly type 2 diabetes, occurs when our bodies struggle to regulate blood sugar levels effectively. You see, the cells in our bodies need sugar, otherwise known as glucose, for energy, but they can't absorb it directly. They need a special key called insulin. In type 2 diabetes, this key doesn't work as well as it should, and the cells have trouble letting glucose in. This means sugar starts building up in the blood, which can lead to a whole host of problems, like heart issues, eye problems, kidney trouble, and more. It's like a traffic jam in the bloodstream, and this can seriously impact a person's health. But there's more to it than just the health concerns. Dealing with diabetes takes a toll on the wallet as well. In the United States, where a whopping 34.2 million people are living with diabetes, it's a major financial burden. Just consider this. In the UK, diabetes gobbles up about 10% of the yearly budget for healthcare, which is around £10 billion. Now imagine the cost in the US, where the healthcare system operates a bit differently. Whether it's in the UK or the US, diabetes places a significant strain on the healthcare system due to the treatment required for complications and management. It's not just about the medicines. It's about the doctor's visits, the tests, the specialized care, and the efforts to prevent those nasty complications. It's clear that tackling diabetes isn't just a medical challenge. It's an economic one too. Now, in the midst of these challenges, could there be a solution that we've yet to explore? Interestingly, there might be just one hiding in the realm of dieting. We've been accustomed to the idea that medications are the main path to treating diabetes, particularly by boosting insulin levels in the body. But what if the true culprit isn't just the amount of insulin, but how well it works in the first place? This is where an alternative approach steps in, suggesting that it's not only about producing more insulin, but also about improving the body's response to it. Imagine this. Diabetes medications often focus on increasing insulin in the body. But what if the issue isn't the supply of insulin, but rather how efficiently it's being used? Picture a scenario where instead of piling on more and more insulin, we can actually make the existing insulin work better. And guess what? This approach isn't a shiny new drug with complex side effects. It's something far simpler, yet potentially groundbreaking. It's related to a basic aspect of our lives: what and when we eat. And here's where the twist comes in. This alternative method isn't a groundbreaking new drug. It's something that has been around for quite some time. Intermittent fasting. Yes, you heard it right. Intermittent fasting. A practice with its roots in ancient traditions might hold the key to managing type 2 diabetes. But hold on. Before we dive into the details, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell so you won't miss out on this exciting revelation. Intriguingly, the concept of intermittent fasting has sparked interest as a potential alternative to traditional medications in managing type 2 diabetes. The idea here is to reshape our eating patterns in a way that could directly impact our body's response to insulin and subsequently our blood sugar levels. Intermittent fasting isn't a one-size-fits-all approach. Rather, it encompasses various methods, each with its own unique rhythm. These include alternate day fasting, where you eat normally one day and restrict calories the next; time-restricted fasting, where you limit eating to certain hours; and split-day fasting, like the 5-2 method, where you eat normally most days and restrict calories on a couple of days. But how does this unconventional approach work? Stay tuned, because we're about to unravel the science behind intermittent fasting's potential role in managing type 2 diabetes. Diving deeper into the concept of intermittent fasting, let's explore the rationale behind its potential effectiveness. Researchers believe that intermittent fasting might offer a sustainable way to manage type 2 diabetes, particularly due to its impact on weight loss. Unlike conventional diets that involve continuous calorie restriction, intermittent fasting presents a unique approach. This method allows individuals to cycle between periods of eating and fasting, potentially leading to reduced overall calorie intake without the constant feeling of deprivation. Let's delve into the various methods of intermittent fasting, each offering a unique approach to structuring eating patterns. These methods aim to create periods of fasting, alternating with eating periods, and may potentially play a role in managing type 2 diabetes. Number 1. Alternate day fasting. This method involves alternating between feast days, where you eat normally, and fast days, where you significantly reduce calorie intake or fast altogether. The fasting periods can vary, but the idea is to have a distinct contrast between the days of regular eating and the days of calorie restriction. Number 2. Time-restricted fasting. This approach focuses on setting specific windows for eating during the day, creating a fasting period outside those hours. For example, you might restrict eating to a 6-hour window, say from noon to 6 p.m., and abstain from eating outside this time frame. It simplifies the concept by narrowing down the time you can consume food. Number 3. Split day fasting, or the 5-to-2 method. In this approach, you typically eat normally for 5 days a week, and on the remaining 2 days, you significantly restrict calorie intake. On the fasting days, calorie consumption is usually much lower, often around 500 to 600 calories. This method allows for more flexibility on non-fasting days while providing the benefits of calorie reduction on fasting days. These methods of intermittent fasting work based on the principle of creating a calorie deficit or extended periods without food, which can potentially lead to weight loss. The key is finding an approach that aligns with individual preferences, lifestyle, and importantly, health goals. It's essential to note that intermittent fasting may not be suitable for everyone, and consulting a healthcare professional before embarking on this dietary strategy, especially for those with existing health conditions or taking specific medications, is advisable. One intriguing aspect lies in the sustainability of intermittent fasting. The idea is that people might find it easier to stick to this kind of eating pattern compared to more traditional diets. The gradual reduction in the number of eating occasions or calorie intake during fasting periods can make the practice less mentally taxing than continuously counting calories throughout the day. This adherence over the long term might lead to more significant weight loss and subsequently better management of type 2 diabetes. Beyond its potential impact on weight loss, intermittent fasting is believed to affect hormones that play a crucial role in diabetes management. During obesity, the body's balance of insulin and hormones like leptin, which signals fullness, becomes disrupted. Elevated levels of insulin and pro-inflammatory leptin contribute to metabolic issues. However, intermittent fasting might help to recalibrate this hormonal balance. By engaging in periods of fasting, the body's reliance on glucose for energy might shift towards the breakdown of fats and the production of ketones. This transition could lead to reduced levels of insulin and a decrease in the pro-inflammatory hormone leptin, allowing the body to restore a healthier hormonal equilibrium. Now, let's dive into the heart of the matter: the study findings and review of the studies regarding the effectiveness of intermittent fasting in managing type 2 diabetes. The study in question undertook a comprehensive review, examining 8 different studies that investigated the impact of intermittent fastings on diabetes management. While the number of studies reviewed might seem relatively small, these studies varied in duration, lasting from 4 to 24 weeks, allowing for a diverse range of insights. Intriguingly, the study's findings indicated that intermittent fasting showcased promising outcomes in comparison to conventional dietary methods. Specifically, when compared to a control group that followed no specific intervention, the intermittent fasting group exhibited notable improvements in several key areas. These areas included reductions in blood glucose levels, a pivotal marker in diabetes management, and significant weight loss. To offer a more comparative perspective, the study delved further by examining studies that pitted intermittent fasting against continuous calorie restriction. In a comparative study involving these two methods, participants adhering to intermittent fasting and those practicing continuous calorie restriction achieved similar outcomes in terms of weight loss and improvements in blood glucose levels. This finding is particularly intriguing as it suggests intermittent fasting could be as effective as more traditional dietary approaches. Although the study's duration was limited, with none of the studies extending beyond 6 months, these initial results provide an optimistic outlook on the potential benefits of intermittent fasting in managing type 2 diabetes. As we explore this method further, it's essential to consider the broader implications of incorporating intermittent fasting into one's lifestyle. It appears that the door is open for this dietary strategy to play a meaningful role in diabetes management, offering an alternative path to better health. The study's exploration of comparative results adds a new layer of understanding to the potential of intermittent fasting in managing type 2 diabetes. By directly comparing intermittent fasting to continuous calorie restriction, researchers gain valuable insights into the effectiveness of each approach. What emerges from the analysis is a noteworthy revelation. The outcomes achieved through intermittent fasting are on par with those seen with continuous calorie restriction. This finding suggests that both methods hold promise as viable strategies for managing blood glucose levels and achieving weight loss, two crucial components in diabetes management. It's important to recognize the significance of these comparative results. While intermittent fasting has garnered attention for its unique approach to eating patterns, this study underscores that it's not just about the method itself. It's about the outcomes it can yield. Individuals navigating the path of diabetes management now have multiple avenues to consider. This comparative perspective encourages a personalized approach, where individuals can select a strategy that resonates most with their preferences and lifestyles. The study's conclusions position intermittent fasting as a pragmatic tool within the landscape of diabetes management. This tool offers a structured way of eating that for some individuals might align better with their routine and inclinations. The key here is that intermittent fasting simplifies the process, carving out specific windows for eating and fasting. This approach might foster adherence, as it condenses the effort into specific periods, reducing the feeling of constant restriction that can accompany other dietary methods. While intermittent fasting isn't presented as a miraculous solution, it does introduce a fresh perspective. Rather than framing it as a sweeping transformation, it can be viewed as a practical tool that individuals can incorporate into their lives. It acknowledges that different paths can lead to similar destinations: better glucose control, weight management, and overall health. However, as with any lifestyle adjustment, it's vital to tread thoughtfully. Engaging in discussions with healthcare professionals, understanding personal health needs, and monitoring progress are pivotal steps on this journey towards utilizing intermittent fasting as a valuable tool in the pursuit of effective type 2 diabetes management. Share your thoughts to us through the comments section about this matter. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Ring that notification bell for more tips and discoveries.